Wow. They really going crazy with this vaccine. They really are. So let's get into it. Announcing a vaccination-based caste system. This week, Health Minister Christine Elliott of Ontario, Canada, announced that that the province is planning to implement what can be best described as a caste system that categorizes people and determines their legally allowed activities based on whether or not they have been vaccinated for coronavirus. Elliott explained that under the plan system, people who are vaccinated for coronavirus will receive a special card, a vaccination passport, the possession of which will be required for them to do things other people will be prohibited from doing. She stated, the card will be really important for people to have for travel purposes, perhaps for work purposes, for going to theaters or cinemas, or any other places where people will be closer in physical contact when they get together through the worst of the pandemic. So, yes, that will be essential for people to have that. Politicians across the world have been spending billions of dollars on funding the rush into mass production of experimental coronavirus vaccines, as well as on setting up means for quickly injecting these vaccines into as many people as possible. But many people intend not to have the injections. To help overcome this resistance, don't be surprised to see many more government officials across the world join Elliott in calling for the adoption of vaccination-based caste systems. Such draconian caste systems would be right in line with other harsh measures, from stay-at-home orders to mass mandates to forced closing of businesses that governments have been imposing for months on end in their coronavirus crackdowns. For more information about the announced vaccination-based caste system in Ontario, and to hear Elliott describe it, watch this recent Canadian Broadcasting Corporation report. So let's do that. Cue the music for right now. All right, let's get into it.
Health Canada is expected to approve the Pfizer vaccine this week, so just in a short matter of time. Polls suggest the majority of Canadians will in fact roll up their sleeves, but some will not. And at least one province, Ontario, says anyone who does not will likely face ongoing restrictions while the rest of the population gets back to sort of normal life, Laura. Laura McQuillan I'm referring to, looking at Ontario's plan as the health minister announced yesterday.
Yeah, some kind of a card that you would carry that proves you've had your 2 shots of the vaccine. Could be 1 shot if it is a 1-shot vaccine, but most look like they will be 2. So once you're fully immunized, you'd have what's being described as a vaccination card, vaccination passport. You take it when you go to do things that you can't currently do once those businesses or places reopen. Health Minister Christine Elliott gave some more details yesterday on just how it might work and where those restrictions might lift for you if you can prove you've been vaccinated.
It's going to be really important for people to have for travel purposes, perhaps for work purposes, for going to theaters or cinemas or any other places where people will be in closer physical contact when we get through the worst of the pandemic. So yes, that will be essential for people to have that.
So not mandatory to get the shot, but if you don't get it, you might be opting out of those things that this card enables you to do. As you mentioned, as you heard her mention there, jobs that could be a field such as healthcare, such as being a teacher. You might need to prove that you've been vaccinated because you have that contact with people, but it's not yet clear what power employers would have to require you to prove this. School kids might be another group that need to carry the card, visitors to long-term care homes. Keep in mind, it could be another year before everyone gets vaccinated, but already experts are looking at this. And I thought the response that we got from Dr. Samir Gupta, he spoke to us last hour, was quite interesting because he said it's not really the be-all and end-all to get one of these cards. You could be fully vaccinated, you could have this card that lets you get into some places, but you would still need to follow those public health measures that we're currently seeing, such as wearing masks, the hygiene measures like distancing. Take a listen to more of what he told us.
practically having that immunity certificate doesn't change much in terms of my behavior, unless and until you get to a critical mass of people in the population where you can envision only people with the certificate, only people who've been vaccinated, being able to congregate in certain settings like restaurants, movie theaters, etc. So until we have a significant number of people who've been vaccinated, it's not practically meaningful, because people who are mixed in with the rest of the population will still need to undertake those precautions that we're having today.
So you really need to hit a critical mass point to make it worthwhile there for this card, at least. The other challenge, of course, making sure people do get that second dose of a vaccine, if it is a 2-dose vaccine. We heard a little bit more from the Health Minister, Christine Elliott, on that front. She was saying that Ontario's looking at new technology, looking at new ways to make sure everyone does get that second shot, including how to follow up with them, to give them a call, a text message to say, hey, it's time for your second dose. So expect more details on that as Ontario works on its logistics, Heather. But certainly a lot of planning going into this idea of a card as well, which is proven a little controversial online with people as well.
That's pretty much it's pretty crazy what they intend to do. I mean, this vaccine is rushed. This vaccine causes half of your face to be paralyzed. Your face muscles will be paralyzed. People have died taking this vaccine, and they have no qualms with this. Ontario's new addition to its coronavirus crackdown was also discussed in the Thursday episode of the Ron Paul Liberty Report. Okay. This is frightening, because who's to say they won't do this in America? All right. This is the brave new world we're going to be facing, where the government is trying to make you take a not properly tested vaccine that can kill you or disfigure you. If you like the content, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Later.